We shall start this session by a prayer. I request Mr. Deslin Vajila, Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Francis Xavier Engineering College, to do the prayer.
Let us all bow down our heads and pray. Loving and most heavenly Father, our Lord Jesus Christ, we thank you and praise you for the wonderful moment you have given to us. At the start of this webinar on blockchain and bitcoins, we look at your face. As your word says, Lord will perfect that which concerns me. Lord, we pray that you will bless this webinar and make it a wonderful and a perfect one. Pray for the organizers, participants, and the resource person. Grant us your wisdom, knowledge, and strength. Bless us, lead us, and guide us. Let your will be done and your name be magnified. Offer all this prayer in the most precious name of the Lord and our Savior Jesus Christ. Amen. Yeah.
I thank Lord Almighty and our management for guiding us and supporting us to conduct these webinars. I welcome Mr. S. Krishna Kumar, Director, Alumni Association, Francis Xavier Engineering College for this webinar. And I welcome today's resource person, Engineer B.R. Rajkumar, Module Lead, Software Development, Miramat Ajuba Solutions, Chennai. I welcome you, Rajkumar. Also, I welcome all the participants from various institutions and organizations for this webinar. Next, I welcome the coordinators of today's event, Dr. G. Aravind Swaminathan and Dr. C. Gopalakrishnan and their team members. Last but not least, I welcome all my colleagues who make all the events a grand success. Now, I request Dr. G. Aravind Swaminathan, Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Francis Xavier Engineering College, to introduce the resource person.
Hello everybody, very good morning to you all. It's my immense pleasure to introduce the resource person and the chief guest of the day. The resource person is none other than Mr. B.R. Rajkumar. He is right now working as the module lead in the software development in Mirabat Ajuba. He is working in the US healthcare products, especially for the anesthesiologists and the hospitals. His role is developing new features in applications and bug fixes for customer support. The technology he has got involved includes C#, WPF, SQL, Entity Frameworks, and WCF services, ASP.NET, MVC, JS, and SQL. Previously, he has worked with Syncfusion Software Chennai as a product manager. And there he has handled the charting component and managed the development of the team. We are so proud to inform that Mr. B.R. Rajkumar is our proud alumnus of our department from the batch of 2010, and he's a wonderful darling student of our department. And we are so proud to have him in our midst. And once again, with a heart full of joy and cheer, I welcome Rajkumar, the resource person for this August gathering. And I am proud and I am immensely happy to introduce him. Thank you, B.R. Rajkumar, for being the resource person for this webinar. And I hand over the session to the moderator.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It's good morning, everyone, and it's thank you for the introduction, Arvind sir. So it's always been a pleasure for me, to do something for the college, for my college. That is always been a pleasure for me. So thank you for giving this opportunity to give the ideas I have later with the, some latest technology topics to share with the students. And I'm also happy for not only for coming not only for making myself to be to make myself into a stage. I'm also happy for the department, CS department. Our management is having the care for the students, like even in the scenario of lockdown and everything. So they want something for students to get to keep in touch with the latest technologies. I've been always in touch with our college. Even I passed out 2010 actually. It's been 10 years actually, but I have participated in most 2 to 3 alumni meeting. Regularly have a conversation with Brinda ma'am, Arvind sir. So I was able to get the update from the from the our beloved gurus, like what are things going inside the college or going outside the college. I was very much happy, like the steps they are taking for the welfare of the students, and how much they are care for the students in terms of career, not only in terms of study, and also with their careers. So even after we completed the college, so they will be in touch with us to know what we are doing and what is the progress in our life. So they are happy to see their children grow, in their profession. So I'm happy to see the things are continuing still now, and now as a the exposure to the technology, exposure to the outside world is much. So colleges also has taken many steps. I heard from the Brinda ma'am and Arvind sir. So this is one of the step I was able to participate. So I was happy for, I was one of the I was able to contribute little bit to the college. So I'm very happy for this opportunity. So I think we can start the session now. So I'll share the screen. So if everyone able to see my screen, just let me know. Available?
Yes, Rajkumar, it's visible.
Yeah. Okay. Fine, ma'am. Okay. So today actually I'm going to give some ideas about the blockchain and Bitcoin. So it's kind of an introduction to the new this technology, actually, blockchain and the Bitcoin. So as you all know, like there are many technologies in the technologies. Day by day we are getting updates about the new technologies, new inventions in terms of technology, or in terms of languages in the IT field, or even in the information technology. So the reason I have chosen this blockchain topic, this, even though this was this blockchain concept was introduced even 10 years back, a decade back, the why I have chosen this topic as of right now. So some new technology, maybe we can take as AI, data scientist, data analytics. So why we need to know about the blockchain and Bitcoin? Bitcoin is it's actually byproduct of blockchain, I could say. So why we need to know about this blockchain? So I'll tell you in the course of session. So before getting into this blockchain and Bitcoin, so this technology, we need to know about the overall history of this blockchain and everything. So I'll give the brief about the Bitcoin, then I'll go to the blockchain topic. Okay. So the reason is Bitcoin is actually a application or a byproduct that uses the blockchain technology. So for us, Bitcoin, we can able to we need to know only about the transactions, applications. Maybe that much we don't need to explain more about the Bitcoin. So the session will be like I'll be introducing the Bitcoin, and then we'll go for the blockchain, and finally we'll know like how the blockchain works and makes this Bitcoin as a most disruptive cryptocurrency in the current market. So that is the overall agenda of this session. So we'll start the session. So by the way, so sir, I introduced myself very well. So just I'm a software developer by profession, and freelancer, developer, and trainer. And you can contact me like in LinkedIn via Leojana, and this is my email ID, just for information. So let's start the session about the Bitcoin. Okay. So what is Bitcoin? Actually, this is a definition I have taken from the Wikipedia. So I'll read out this one. So Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. It is a decentralized digital currency without a central bank or a single administrator, can be sent from a user to user That means the peer-to-peer Bitcoin network without the need of any intermediaries. Okay, so this is the definition. So if you are able to understand something from this definition, that is good. But if you are not able to understand, no need to worry about this. So we'll be you will be able to understand this better once we going to the sessions sites one by one. So I'll give a brief about what is this. Yes. Any queries? Okay. Fine. So I'll explain. So it's a kind of cryptocurrency. So cryptocurrency is a kind of digital currencies. So most of us know like what is a cryptocurrency, right? Digital currencies. That is something not our traditional fiat currencies, traditional currencies existing in the financial market now. So this is the digital currencies only resides on the digital computer network. So that will be used for, of course, the financial transaction, whatever the transactions, we use this Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency. So the very simple example. So everyone is played a game, right? So that maybe Subway Surf or any other whatever the game, we'll be getting the coins or some reward points in the while we completing some kind of levels or something like that, right? So that coin will be used for some for achieving some resource inside the game, or maybe that coin might be useful for passing out the some levels, or that even some games that coins or some rewards that will be used for doing some other thing outside that game as well. So this is a simple example. I could say like digital currency work. So Bitcoin is also this kind of a simple digital currency or digital some rotation to ensure the financial transactions or financial things happening in the market. They are proposing this Bitcoin as an alternative for our fiat currencies. How that over a long period of years of financial marketing, we've been practice of using the fiat currencies, the fiat currencies. How the digital currencies, how people will able to trust this digital currencies instead of having the actual dollar or rupees in their hand. So the reason behind this, as we are in the age of information, I could say this is the information age for the last decade. From the last decade, it will be go even better in the future. So say take before 10 years and right now, the way we are doing the financial transaction, for purchasing or even for any expense, we are using the either we use the debit card, credit card. Now we are using the UPI payment, online banking. So everything comes into the digital platform, right? So the usage of currencies, fiat currencies, the rupees paper is not much used by the most of the people. I could say like the 20 to 30% of the people are completely using the digital currencies only. So since the internet was able to reach the 50% of the population in the world, people are saying like we are in the stage of actually beginning of the internet evolution. Even lot more to come. So whatever the things we are experiencing out of internet right now is actually the only the 10 to 20% of the result of the due to the internet. The people studies are saying like that. So in future, the way that the technologies or the way applications will be evolved would be a drastic difference. So many people are able to understand that the difference between how we done the financial transaction earlier and right now. In future, we could be able to see like how we are going to now we will be using the transferring the if you want to exchange the some deposit some amount to another person. The earlier lot of process, lot of intermediate people we need will be involving, right? In physically, I am saying. Now also intermediate people are involving, but not in physical manner. Actually, we are just doing UPI payment to someone in our contact, but in fraction of seconds it is happening to that receiver. of course there is in some of intermediaries, but everything's happened with a mutual understanding, mutual trust, and in a fraction of seconds due to the power of computers and the internet. So the Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency, digital currencies, everything will be the future of the financial marketing, as far as the studies are saying. So it was actually introduced on the 2008. Before also we have multiple digital currencies like cash, something like Bitgold, I guess, Bitgold. So these are the some proposals to the cryptocurrencies, but not that was not succeeded as like Bitcoin. So I think a lot of explanation I have given for the Bitcoin. So maybe we go for a small story. ஒரு சின்னதா ஒரு ஸ்டோரி சொல்லிட்டா maybe it could be a refreshing thing, I guess. So I could go with this person, Satoshi Nakamoto. இது யாரு actually? Who is this Satoshi Nakamoto? So he is the, or I could say, I was unable to give any adjective for this name, he or she or they, because till now we don't know who is this Satoshi Nakamoto. So I prefer to say is Satoshi. Okay, he so Satoshi is actually the one who proposed this blockchain or Bitcoin actually. So in 2008, actually in 2008 the bitcoin.org domain was registered, and in 2009 Jan, actually in the cryptocurrency mailing group, they received a mail from a person named Satoshi Nakamoto by proposing a paper titled as the peer-to-peer the Bitcoin, the peer-to-peer electronic cash systems. So this was a title, Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. So he was proposing a system for peer-to-peer communication that enables the electronic cash system. So how confident he has given, like I'm going to propose some system that is alternative to your financial system existing right now. So he proposed the system, and in Jan actually that was the proposal. So after that, till that email, no one knows about the Satoshi Nakamoto. After that proposal, so everyone was looking for the the theory he proposed, actually how the digital currency worked without any intermediaries, only peer-to-peer communication. I just means like A is transferring doing some transaction with the B without the help of any intermediaries. How the trust, how the genuinity, how the integrity of the transactions, everything will be maintained. Everything that will be ensured by this concept. So the concept behind the Bitcoin proposal was the blockchain. So for the blockchain thing, I'll explain detail in the later sessions. So blockchain, what is blockchain? இப்போ most of the people session இருக்கிறவங்கள்ட்ட so blockchain என்ன, bitcoin என்ன அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி கேட்டா, so the first thing எனக்குமே initially for me, before knowing about the blockchain, the first thing is it's a block of it's a chain of blocks, right? So what is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency or digital currency using the blockchain. So what is blockchain? Blockchain is a technology behind the Bitcoin. So இவ்வளவுதான் நம்ம சொல்ல முடியும். Like in the definition will stop actually. So once I started explore about the Bitcoin and blockchain, it's actually really very much interesting, the way it was developed and the way it was evolved actually. Fine. So go back to the story. So on 3rd Jan 2009, actually he created the first block in the blockchain network. So the Satoshi Nakamoto created the first block, that is the block 0 of the chain. The first block is always called as Genesis block. So we can see that later. That was mined by the Satoshi in the Bitcoin network, and he was rewarded with 50 Bitcoin actually. So this concept is simple. So whenever we add a block, by the some person, some miner, he will be or she will be rewarded with the bitcoins. That is how this Bitcoin blockchain networks going. So even whatever the concepts or things coming based on the blockchain, this concept is similar. So they are doing something, and some transaction in the blockchains, or some they are maintaining some data in that blockchain, and for adding a new block, they will be rewarded some coin, some cryptocurrency. That is the concept behind this Bitcoin and blockchain. Okay, so means he won the first 50 bitcoins in the blockchain. So the mining, everything we can see in the later sessions. Okay, so this is the Genesis block. So I could say this is a actually the first block of Bitcoin. This is the hexa version of the Bitcoin. So in this Bitcoin, so for every block there is a information about the transaction which is encrypted, hashed in the Bitcoin. Also there is a information about the person who mined that block, or who done this, who is responsible, or who done the hashing, winning hash for this. Maybe the term நான் சொல்ற the winning hash இதெல்லாம் வந்து உங்களுக்கு லேட்டரா புரிய ஆரம்பிக்கும் ஒன் செஷன் போகும்போது. இந்த பிளாக் ஆட் ஆகிறதுக்கான ரீசனா இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு பர்சன் ஆர் த மைனர், த கம்ப்யூட்டர், அதை ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்றதுக்கு we have some place, this is called Coinbase. There they can able to put some message, something to identify that this block was mined by myself. So அதுக்கு ஒரு ஐடென்டிஃபிகேஷனுக்கு they add a Coinbase. Okay, so in the transaction details இருக்கும், and also the details about the previous and previous block details, everything will be there. And also the coin information, the Coinbase information based பண்ணி தான் the reward will be given for the miners. Okay, so let's go back to this one. So for the first block mined by the Satoshi, what the message he added as a as a message for the integrated that this was mined by Satoshi. He actually himself give another way, like this was to ensure the timestamp. Actually, this was a message. The Times is a Times newspaper at that time. On Jan 3rd, 2009, Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. This was the headline on the newspaper, that Times newspaper on that particular day. So this was to ensure that this blog was created on that particular day. இப்போ நம்ம நிறைய நியூஸ் பார்ப்போம், like so if some owners was want to establish the timestamp. நான் இன்னைக்கு தான் பேசுறேன் அப்படிங்க establish பண்றதுக்கு they will put some calendar or time over the behind them to ensure that they establish that this was a new one. This was to establish the timestamp actually. So he wants to establish the timestamp, and also if you see that command headline of the newspaper, Chancellor actually brink of second bailout for banks. Actually, is actually in this Bitcoin, the blockchain, everything comes as a result of the recession, global financial recession happened after late 2000. So later 2000 only, after 2K problems, US actually had some major financial crisis because of the bank bailouts, bankruptcy, நிறைய problems இருந்துச்சு. So இப்போ நமக்கு we also know this bank concept, like the RBI, Reserve Bank, is injecting some amount to the respective banks to sustain in the financial thing. That is how the chancellors actually already they have given the first bailout for the banks, but still the financial things not stabilized. Still the economic crisis was going peak in the US. So they are thinking of actually they are not even thinking, they are almost at the edge of giving the second bailout. So whenever the new money is injected in the bank, it actually we don't want to go much into that. That means that is related to inflation and everything. Okay, fine, leave that as it is. So he wants to establish two things. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒன் வாஸ் த டைம் ஸ்டாம்ப். நான் இன்னைக்கு தான் பண்ணியிருக்கேன் அப்படிங்கிற எஸ்டாப்ளிஷ் பண்றாரு. நெக்ஸ்ட் திங் வந்து என்ன, இட்ஸ் ஒரு கைண்ட் ஆஃப் அ சர்காஸ்டிக் கமெண்ட். என்னன்னா இந்த ஃபினான்ஷியல் மார்க்கெட்டோட ஸ்டெபிலிட்டி, ஹவு த ஸ்டெபிலிட்டி இந்த ஃபினான்ஷியல் மார்க்கெட் இப்படி இருக்கிற ஃபினான்ஷியல் மார்க்கெட்ல நான் வந்து ஐ எம் கிவிங் அ நியூ ப்ரொபோசல். ஸோ அப்படின்ற மாதிரி ஸோ ஹி எஸ்டாப்ளிஷ் டூ திங்ஸ் ஆக்சுவலி, he or she or they. So even not many stories about Satoshi Nakamoto, like they are saying that it is a group of people who from cryptographic experts. Some people are saying he is actually a computer scientist from Japan. So many people was claimed as a Satoshi Nakamoto. So they are given so many things to make someone as a Satoshi Nakamoto, but till now there is no proof that he is someone was Satoshi Nakamoto or some community of people are Satoshi Nakamoto. Okay, that was a interesting story behind this blockchain, Bitcoin, and everything. So we can go little bit further. So after this new blockchain, the 3rd Jan, so we go a little bit faster. So in Jan 6th, he actually published the source code of the blockchain into the open source SoundForge website. So after that, so open source in the sense everyone can able to see the code logic. They can able to contribute the Bitcoin thing. So once in the proposal வந்ததுக்கு அப்புறமும் once they that made as a open source, அது பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறமும் வந்து lot of many contributors, even the people who already like hash gold, bitcoin, hash cash, bitcoin, இதெல்லாமே similar kind of cryptocurrency propose பண்ணவங்க தான். Those people are started working along with this open source community. அதுல வந்து they started to contributing. So whenever the people are started contributing, they will do the mining, they will get the bitcoins. So many people's initial contributors got the more bitcoins. That time the bitcoin value will not be less than $0 actually, but the now bitcoin rate actually for Indian rupees it almost near to 7 lakhs. In 2017 actually it was went to very peak, and it was maintained saturated at that point. It's coming from 5 lakhs to 7 lakhs as per Indian currency, I could say. And even in this lockdown actually it was even came to the peak some days back. Fine. After that actually so as I said already, the in that proposal system, in that emailing cryptocurrency, here the Satoshi added one quote actually, a system of electronic transaction without relying on trust. This was the definition in that proposal actually. He is saying like it's a system of electronic transaction without relying on any trust. So our financial market, so whatever the financial transaction, how we are functioning right now, it's all on the trust, right? The financial market, whatever the business or even our individuals are working on the basis of trust only. Maybe so how he is saying like without relying on trust. ஸோ அப்படி சொல்ற ட்ரஸ்ட் இல்லாத ஒரு நெட்வொர்க் வந்து எப்படி வந்து இவ்வளவு பூம் ஆக முடியும்? லைக் don't want to trust in the sense, it doesn't mean like you don't need to trust, which means we don't need to rely on the people, some people or some intermediate to trust. So now say for example I am doing some transaction, I am doing some financial transaction, purchase some things, my transactions are validated or ensured by the multiple intermediaries, right? So that if I'm swiping the card, that means my bank ensuring to the merchant that he is having the enough amount in his account, so you can give the product to him. That was a trust. This is how our existing financial marketing system built and working as of now. So he is saying like this, the transaction without relying on any trust. That is the major disruptive and major evolutionary thought actually. So so as we said, many people misunderstood like trustless in the sense like we don't need to trust on the transaction. Actually, we don't need to trust on any other intermediate people to validate or ensure our transaction. We ourselves are able to trust our transaction without any other intermediate people. That was the actual meaning of that. Okay, so I'll give a simple example. So maybe to understand this much better, so we will see the how the online payment work. So everyone do the online payment, right? So we purchased something in the Amazon or Flipkart, or even we go for the some supermarket, or we purchase something using the UPI payment or what credit card or swipe debit card. So we'll see how this online payment works. Okay, this is the so how we can so the online payment there is a the people who involved are the consumer, the merchant, the shop, or the maybe or the Flipkart or the Amazon websites, one of the e-commerce websites, and the banks on the intermediate peoples. So this is how the network is happening. So we'll see how the for a single transaction what are the steps we are having. Okay. So this is the simple picture representation of this our online payment or whatever the financial digital payment we are having. So this is a consumer, so who wants to purchase something in the supermarket shop. Okay, so he added everything into the cart and doing the swipe or tap in the merchant machine. So I'll explain what are this issuer and acquirer. Actually, issuer and acquirer are both are the banks only, but issuer is the one who issue that debit or credit card to the consumer. Okay, and acquirer actually is the one who maintains the record, maintains the account for the merchant. So maybe these two banks are the same bank or a different bank, and same bank can be act as a issuer and acquirer as both. But the difference is like for consumer they are given some privileges. There's a protocols are different. For the merchant the protocols are different, right? They are using the current account. We are using savings account. So a lot of many things inside. So these are the difference between the issuer and acquirer. So we can as of now we can keep it as a different banks. Okay, and this is the important one. This is a Visa or Master network. So we are using the card. People may think like we are using HDFC or Indian Bank or whatever the bank we are using. They are giving some Visa Mastercard. So what is the role of the Visa Master in this bank? So all the banks are giving this Visa and Mastercard. Okay, so that networks is ensuring all the financial transactions happening in the financial market actually. Okay. So we don't want to go much into the financial Visa or market network. I'll just give the brief. So first he is tapping or swiping the card in the merchant. Okay, then there is one digital message will be sent to the acquirer bank. Okay, the digital information is includes all the information like என்னென்ன வாங்கியிருக்கிற total amount of purchase, his account information, the card the secured account information எல்லாமே வந்து the record format அந்த bank தேவையான formatல it will send the digital message to the acquirer bank. Okay, once the acquirer bank receives that message, they will start processing and add all the necessary additional informations needed for transaction into the Visa network. So they will send a message to the Visa network with all the financial this merchant details, this all the total amount, the account details, everything to the Visa network. The Visa network they will process this thing and find the issuer bank, and they will send a e-message to the issuer bank. So they will do all the validations, everything. So actually acquirer bank what they will do the sense they will do the they are actually ensuring the merchants transaction everything. This Visa network actually what they will do, the Visa network actually what they will do the sense they will ensure the all the security for deductions. Yeah, they run all the algorithm tools, everything to, over the transaction thing happened. So once they finalize that this was a valid transactions, then they will send a message to the issuer bank. So they will do all the validation, everything, and then they will check the account consumer balance, and if they have the enough balance in sense, they will again send back to the they will hold that much amount in the account. They will add a whole loophole into the account, and loophole in the sense they add a mark, they just freeze that amount, and they will send a message to the consumer, and also message to the Visa network that this is a valid transaction. Then again the Visa network will back to the acquirer, and the acquirer will confirm the transaction to the merchants. Once the merchant confirms the transactions, they will get the receipt of the transactions. So the payment will be completed, and the consumer, the relationship between the consumer and the merchant is as far as the consumer and merchant, the transaction is completed. So the merchant will give the product and consumer will take away the product. Okay, so this is the thing completed. So this is the first process of the email online payment, that is authorization. Okay, next was clearing. Once the transaction was completed, that is once the transaction was completed, the merchant will send a thing to the acquirer bank. So they will do the one second. So then they will do the financial final transaction to the acquirer VisaNet. So after the acquirer send to the final transaction to the Visa network, the Visa network is not only getting this kind of final transaction from the single merchant or single acquirer. Actually, globally or by the region, they will be getting multiple final transaction from the acquirers and merchant side. So they will start processing everything, and for a certain period of time, they will run a patch file that will send all the completed transaction into the respective issuer banks. So what are maybe they have their 10 transactions, they will give all the 10 transactions to the respective issuer bank. Then issuer banks will approve the transaction, and they will, once they till the final transaction message come from the Visa network, the amount will be freezed by the bank, the amount from the customer bank account. Once they get this message, they will release the message and deduct actually they will do the actual deduction in that time only. Okay, then they will done all the confirmations. This is the clearing process. Final was settlement. Settlement finally sometimes you might face the issue like after 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock some cards accept பண்ண மாட்டாங்க. Like they used to tell like settlement பண்ணியாச்சு, settlement முடிஞ்சுன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. Settlement in the sense like finally their merchant is closing the settlement to the acquirer bank. Transaction எல்லாம் முடிஞ்சது, so we can start give the settlement. That means the acquirer will give the all the final settlement to the Visa network. The Visa network will start process all the final settlements and give the final transaction details to the all the issuers and the acquirers bank. So same bank will be acquirer for some merchant, some and same bank will be acquirer for issuer for us for another merchant, right? So they will get all the settlement in and out settlements, and once they receive the settlement, they started processing transactions like from one bank to another bank. So this is how the e-banking is the online payment, whatever the online payment you are doing, this is happening. But we won't know like how the things happening in the behind the screen actually. So many intermediaries, Visa network, issuer, banker, even multiple payment systems is involved with the payments if you are going the online payments. So many intermediaries involved in between this financial transaction, right? How we trust the financial transactions? We just swipe the thing. As far the merchant is concerned, he is trusting their acquirer bank. So namak amount vandrum, they will give the settlement. Consumer, as for the consumers, I am having the card. In the card give the validity, give the ensure that I can able to purchase anything in bounds with my account balance. I can do anything with this card. Abdinga trust we are having with the bank. Without other than banks, as we saw like many intermediaries involved in this financial transactions. But like the so many applications, so many technologies involved in this bank's accuracy and knows everything to ensure this trust, validity, identity, security, and fraud detections. So many things happening in and out. So to avoid everything, so if you are having the peer-to-peer communication, only customer and merchant. So if you are having a Bitcoin and the shop is able to accept the Bitcoin, we just send the Bitcoin from our wallet to the shop wallet. There is no intermediate involved. Maybe the transaction time happening right now will be small to get a one block, but there won't be any intermediate people involved in this thing. So far, the reason why we don't need the intermediate people in the transaction, we see later. Okay, fine. So this will go further. So these all the things happen because of the internet, evolution of internet. So of course we have multiple pros in the financial internet, using internet, but we still have these are the pros of the internet, I could say. And but still we have this kind of limitations, like it's a person identity you are doing with the business. So we are doing some business, the online business. So actually they are the person or something, either their service is real. So many things we need to understood. So we need to ensure. For that we need to ensure others and intermediate, like how we purchase a gold by trusting the the 916 or 916 something, this hallmark. So ISO, these are intermediate people who give the trust. So I went to purchase some apple, so adula or sticker it's a kind of organic something, but who knows, like either we able to produce, this sticker was able to produce by the shopkeeper itself. So but we are trusting that number and identity. So I'm saying, like this is how our system works, but there is a flaws in that system. So how this blockchain Bitcoin going to eradicate that, we'll see. Okay, so as I said, I discussed most about this trust. So the trust was the main thing happening behind this blockchain. This blockchain actually gives the trustless in sense, as I said earlier, without trusting any other intermediate properties, we are going to do the financial transaction, or we are going to do the any other transaction, not only financial transaction, by sending some kind of valid documents, by approving the loans. See, everything we are having multiple intermediate peoples, right? So we are having the peer-to-peer communications. So say for example, I am registering a land, அதுக்கே multiple people இருக்கு, நம்ம அதுக்கு years of check பண்ணி பார்க்கறது பார்க்கணும். So is a legally right one, he is a legal owner. So இதெல்லாம் once the central authority is compromise ஆயிட்டாங்க அப்படின்னா, the trust we are having there, some register office or something. So if that people are compromised, that everything will be collapsed, right? So that is if the only trust is happening between the two people, only the sender and receiver, then no need to worry about that. Then அப்படிதான் இருந்துச்சு முன்னாடி. ஸோ அதுல இருந்து எதுக்கு நம்ம இன்டர்மீடியட் வந்தாங்க அப்படின்னா, ஸோ அங்க we have some problems, like ரெண்டு people இன்வால்வ் வராங்க. சே ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள், நம்ம ஒரு வீடு ரெண்டு இருக்கும். ஸோ ரெண்டுல ரெண்டல் அக்ரிமெண்ட் போடுறோம். So original will be kept by the owner, and one photocopy will be given to ourselves, right? So rendu people involved irukanga, but there's a chance if owner was want to do something kind of thing, they can do. And also if tenant was able to do some kind of malpractice, they can also able to. So they need something intermediate. So sachi or always there, so intermediate, and that's the point. This concept of intermediate. Okay, this concept of intermediaries actually started growing. So now the financial market is relies mostly on this intermediate people only. Okay, so guys, so we discussed most things related to trust. So for a healthy ecosystem to run, we need a trust. So for a blockchain and Bitcoin to run on our ecosystem, we need a trust. So how we are going to build this trust? Okay, that's the thing we are going to. So that the trust was. Is there any problem with my audio?
It's not with your not with your audio. Gopal sir, you can please mute your
Okay. So okay, fine. So so to enable the Bitcoin into the online network currency, there is a need of new mechanism to establish this trust. That mechanism is the blockchain. Okay, so we can go for the blockchain. So Bitcoin is as a byproduct, as I said, like, so why we need the Bitcoin? Other than only so Bitcoin in the peer-to-peer communication, everything will be happen. But to establish in the ecosystem, we need to build the trust. So how the internet was built, okay? So adu how it will be achieving using the blockchain, we'll be seeing, okay? So let's back to the main topic of blockchain. So what is this blockchain? So again, we go for the definition. So it's a time-stamped series of immutable records of data that is managed by the cluster of computers not owned by any single entity. Each of these block data is a block, actually is a secured and bound to each other using cryptographic principles. That is a chain, actually. So, so as you maybe understand, like the timestamp. So timestamp is sense like how when did this transaction was happen or when this block was created. So it's a block series of blocks connected with the chain. The chain is actually the cryptographic principle. Some cryptographic principles involved to build that chain actually, and we are adding multiple blocks one by one. Okay, and as you said, like once a block, there won't be any new chain actually. Once a network blockchain or once a blockchain or some network was created, the complete chain will be from zero to whatever the transaction adding happening. That there won't be any new chain. So we'll be adding new block to the existing chain only. So that we are able to get all the transaction transparently to everyone. Okay. So this is a timestamp series of immutable records. This is the major point we need to know. I'll discuss this immutability later. That is managed by the cluster of computers. So it is not managed by any other entity, intermediate entities. Actually, it is actually managed by the cluster of computers. That is not owned by any single entity. இப்போவே multiple networks manage பண்ணா கூட there will be some centralized administrator will be there, right? Some CEO or something like. For blockchain network to establishing a blockchain network, we don't need any intermediate entities. So all the systems involved in the network will act as a manager, act as an administrator to ensure the transactions validity, identification, everything. Okay, so each of the blocks of data is secured actually, and using the hashing algorithm, and the block chain is the cryptographic things. Fine. What this blockchain is going to solve actually. Fine. These are some points I'll explain one by one. We know this role of data and database in the information. We are in the information age, right? So we know how much the database are important in all the scenarios we discussed earlier, like all the online payments, whatever the we discussed earlier. The database and data are most crucial part, right? For the online or internet to work, or for trusting this intermediate entities. So they will maintain some registry. Some will for bank. The register ledger will be like a passbook. Our passbook will get the transaction details. So for the like Visa networks, they will maintain some ledger for the respective banks, and the transaction they will be recorded. So everything will be in the data and database, right? Okay. So நம்ம traditional database பத்தி நான் ரொம்ப உள்ள டீடைலா போக வேண்டாம். Traditional database, I think everyone will know about like that structured database, unstructured database, right? That structure in the sense like tables or traditional tables or columns. So unstructured. So in internet actually 80% of data is unstructured data only. We don't have a structured database. Say for example in the Facebook, we don't know what are the data will be coming in from the user, like post images. So we don't have any proper structures. It's a dynamic structure. So unstructured database, everything. So the core characteristics of this, all the traditional database or all this structured or unstructured database, the core concept behind this the central authority. So even whatever the database, there will be a central authority who give the privileges to the users. So some users might have an admin privilege, some users will have only access to the some specific information alone. Other more than so someone will maintain all this kind of rules, protocols. They will build and give the privileges to the other users, right? So what is the flaw in this system? There is a single point of failure. So on the central system or central system on the failure in the sense, not only hardware failures, like if says we have a big data centers வந்து power failures or system failure ana it will automatically rerouting the another system. We are using a distributed networks. So hardware failure engiradhu kadiyadu. It means like the point of failure in the people who work on the data center or who own the data center. So anga வந்து ஏதாவது management side some kind of DB admin they violate something rules. So அங்க வந்து there is chance of failure. So அது வந்து first flaw. Then also the all the power was held by central authority. So எல்லாமே வந்து central authority இருக்கறனால like whatever things happening எது பண்ணனும். Say for example, நான் வந்து Facebookல வந்து I am going to need to update my phone number அப்படினா we are thinking we are updating, but it will update in the database once that Facebook server or Facebook admin accept, right? So we'll update everything in our machine and our client, and we'll do the save button. After that, the server will validate everything, and once they done the ensured validate everything, they will only confirm that this value will be added to the database. So there is also a central power authority. The processing times, of course, the cost and money involved in the things, and also of course hacking vulnerability is major, and the transparency and participation. So since the video is kind of encapsulation, I could say நமக்கு வந்து உள்ள என்ன நடக்குது. இப்போ எக்ஸாம்பிள் இந்த e-payments swiping and purchasing முடிஞ்சு கன்சியூமர் அண்ட் மெர்ச்சன்டோட பார்ட்டிசிபேஷன் அவ்வளவுதான். அதுக்கப்புறம் அதுக்கு மேல லெவல்ஸ் வந்து they won't go. ஸோ பார்ட்டிசிபேஷன் வந்து இஸ் லெஸ். அதை செக்யூர் அந்த டிரான்சாக்ஷன் இன்ஷூ பண்றது, அதர் டிரான்சாக்ஷன் பாக்குறது, அந்த மாதிரி எதுவுமே அவருக்கு தேவையில்லை. they trust on some entity. ஸோ அந்த ஒரு பார்ட்டிசிபேஷன் எல்லாமே இதுல வந்து கம்மியா இருக்குது. So how this blockchain is going to solve this? Yes, control C and control V. What is this control C and control V? Copy paste. So copy paste எப்படி வந்து solve this? It's a big problem, right? Copy and paste வந்து எப்படி ஒரு இது வந்து சால்வ் பண்ணும் அப்படின்னா, yes, it is copying all the data and pasting it into all the client. எல்லாருக்குமே எல்லா இன்ஃபர்மேஷனும் will be shared. So we will get a copy of all the database in our machine, in our wallet. So that is a major the disruptive thing proposed by this blockchain. So எல்லாருக்குமே எல்லாமே இருந்துச்சுன்னா அதுல வந்து ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் இருக்குது. So security, transparency, privacy, everything. அதையுமே வந்து how we will be solving. That also was actually addressed in this blockchain. Okay, fine. So I'll explain this in a simple block. இது எல்லாமே வந்து we play with simple blocks of the network. So இது வந்து we take this as a clients. இது எல்லாமே வந்து clients. Okay, maybe இது ஒரு டெஸ்க்டாப் இருக்கலாம், இது ஒரு ஐபேட், மொபைல், whatever the desktop. So this is just our application, maybe Facebook or Amazon, whatever the thing. So this is their data center, their database in a centralized manner. So whatever the things they want to communicate, if this user want to get some kind of financial transaction, they will do the transaction. There's some information will be updated here. Okay, so everything will be happened in the centralized manner. So if the central authority compromised or any system failures, as we discussed earlier, so as far the client is concerned, they they actually won't know what is happening in the data centers. So they think that our data will be secure or everything. We saw multiple data related issues, right? Even with this recently this Arogya Setu. So some kind of we have centralized authority and we have centralized database. If someone is able to violate something, it will affect everyone who participate in that network, right? So this is the problem with the centralized. Of course, நீங்க சொல்லலாம் centralized வந்து நம்ம distributed system வந்துட்டோமே. எப்பவுமே long years back we came for a distributed thing. Okay, this is a typical distributed network. So distributed networkங்கிறது என்னன்னா, of course is a distributed around the networks. அவங்க like in the same region or the region wise வந்து they distributed the database actually. So once one failure இன்னொன்று வந்து வரும் அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கும். But so ஒரு சிஸ்டம்ல ஏதாவது தப்பா நடந்தா they will check with other systems. So அங்க எல்லாமே இந்த everything will they will copy of all the database in the distributed network, of course. But they all this system, the database, everything relies on the network only, the network which was owned by that central authority. Again the Amazon or Flipkart or whatever the central the network owner, they have the central authority, they have the admin privileges to take any action to do any changes in the central distributed network. So if they compromised, again the client will be vulnerable, the client data will be vulnerable. Okay, fine. How this was achieved by the blockchain, that was we need to know. So again, as I said, like, is a designated administrator, one who gives the permissions, like யாருக்கு என்னென்ன வேணும், ஸோ இவருக்கு இந்த இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் ரெஸ்ட்ரிக்ட் பண்ணாலும் டிபிஏ தான். பிளாக் செயின் எப்படி அச்சீவ் பண்ணுது இதை, இந்த இன்ஃபர்மேஷனை எப்படி வந்து இந்த இதை எப்படி சால்வ் பண்ணுது அப்படின்னா, ஸோ இது கிவன் எக்ஸாம்பிள், நான் வந்து சேஞ்ச் பண்றேன் அப்படின்னா அது வந்து நமக்கு யூஸருக்கு தெரியாது. ஸோ பண்ணாமலே நம்ம we still think like it's a secured one. So this is a blockchain. இது என்ன பண்ணுதுன்னா, it will copy all the database, entire database, copy of the database given to the client. என்னோட மொபைலுக்கு வந்துடும், டேட்டாபேஸ் இருக்கும், என்னோட வேலட்ல இருக்கும், என்னோட டேப்லெட்ல இருக்கும், என்னோட பிசில இருக்கும். So all the identical all the database are copy into the individual clients who participate in the network. So யார் அந்த நெட்வொர்க்ல இருக்காங்களோ, who are the Facebook users, who are all the who participate, account holder of Amazon, who are all the account holder of State Bank. So எல்லாருக்குமே வந்து they have the copy. அப்போ காப்பினா they misuse தான், அப்படி மிஸ்யூஸ் பண்ண சான்ஸ் இருக்கா? No. So copy in the sense they will have the block information that is encrypted, hashed, everything. They can able to see all the transactions actually. They and all whenever we need to do any changes with the one information, all the entities, all the system or all the client who participate in the network has to accept this transaction as a valid one. Then only the changes will be happen. So this was a major improvement of a major proposal given by the blockchain. So this was how the blockchains are connected. They are connected with the cryptocurrency principles. We'll discuss this later, how they are connected. So say for example, I'm going to add one change. Say I'm going to need to update one phone number in my database, in my Facebook account. So this we have all the copy of the database in the multiple clients in the participating network, right? So if want to do some changes, all the clients has to approve these transactions. So இது வந்து valid transaction தான். அதுக்கு வந்து அது means we don't need a client, நான் எதுவும் பண்ண வேண்டிய அவசியம் இல்லை. So we have the program blockchain to ensure this thing. So once that is everything was completed, again all the changed database will be replicated out to all the machines, all the clients, all the participants involved பண்ணிக்க எல்லாருக்குமே வந்து they will get the copy of the database. So இங்க வந்து integrity வந்து they will ensure. So இதுல வந்து எந்த changes பண்றது எதுவுமே வந்து it's a very difficult one. இதுல வந்து ஒரு hacker வந்து hack பண்றது, ஒரு block remove பண்றதோ delete பண்றதோங்கிறது வந்து delete பண்ணி remove பண்றது it's not at all possible in the blockchain because it's immutable thing. So whenever we need a change, example இப்போ நான் வந்து phone block change பண்றேன்னா actually என்ன பண்ணணும்னா I have to add a new block, which means I am correcting this block number, so and so block வந்து I am just correcting அப்படின்னா new block தான் add பண்ண முடியும். So அந்த block தான் every people in the network will ensure பண்ணி அதை வந்து changes accept பண்ணுவாங்க, new block add ஆயிருக்கும், அவ்வளவுதான். மற்றபடி we can't able to delete or change value in the blockchain ledger actually. So this is a brief explanation of traditional database blockchain difference on the explained. So we call this blockchain as a distributed ledger technology, DLT, which means it's a kind of ledger, as we discussed, like all the records, like everything was referred as a ledger. So this is a distributed ledger. So ledger was your something example or attendance register ledger or something everything that was registered that was distributed across the people, all the people with a secured manner, so that they weren't able to tamper, but they were able to see all the transaction what was happening. So யார் எவ்வளவு சைன் பண்றாங்க, எப்போ சைன் பண்ணாங்க, எல்லாமே வந்து we are able to see everything, right? So this kind of ஒரு kind of ஒரு validity பண்றதுக்கு. So what are the major thing with that distributed technology, ledger technology or blockchain? This is decentralized, immutable and transparent. Decentralized, as you see the previous sites, it's a decentralized one. There won't be any centralized authority to approve or disapprove the transaction, everything that need to be comes under the consents from the all the people involved in the network. Adala the immutable, of course இதுமே ஆட் பண்ண ஊட் பண்ண முடியாது. டிரான்ஸ்பரண்ட் எல்லாருக்குமே எல்லா டேட்டாபேஸும் இருக்கிறதுனால டிரான்சாக்ஷன் எப்படி டிரான்ஸ்பரண்ட், பட் வந்து அட்ரஸ் யாருக்கு யார் பண்ணாங்கிறது தெரியாது, பட் we have a unique identifier to identify that particular person. So fine. So we discussed many things about the blockchain, blocks, அதெல்லாம் பேசிட்டோம். ஸோ இது அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்றதுக்கு, ஸோ ஹவு பிளாக் செயின் ஒர்க்ஸ், அதுதான் மேஜர் பார்ட், கோர் பார்ட், அதுதான் நமக்கு தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும். ஸோ அப்படின்னா ஸோ ஹவு பிளாக் செயின் ஒர்க்ஸ், அதுக்கு வந்து we need to know some few terms. ஓகே, ஸோ இது வந்து டிஸ்கிரீட்டா இருக்கும். ஸோ இது வந்து ஒன்னோட ஒன்று நாட் பி கனெக்டட், பட் ஒன்ஸ் ஃபைனல் பார்ட் யூ வில் பி ஏபிள் டு எவ்ரிதிங் ஃபால்ஸ் இன் த plate well. Okay, so cryptography, we don't want to go much into cryptography. So what is cryptography? It's a simple form of encryption, right? Some say for example I just want to send a message from my machine to some other machine, so I just do some encryptions, so the intimate won't see my message, so I can the receiver will see my message. Okay, the simple cryptography principles, we don't want to go much how this encryptions decryptions are happening. Fine. This public key infrastructure, that is PKI. So most people like cryptography paper, if you have the cryptography paper, you know this PKI, like public this key concept. This is a small and robust concept behind this cryptography. This is a key, public key and private key. Okay, so actually the public key is a key one which was
We are the brave, we are the bold, we can be anything, anything.
Sorry. Fine. So this is a public key and private key. Public key is visible to everyone, and the private key is only visible for the respective person. So say for example, I'll explain this public key, the crypto concept PKI in a simple manner. So we have a mailbox in our house, right? So there is a if a postman want to drop a mail, they can able to drop the mail or money, whatever the thing someone wants to drop in, they can drop into our mailbox. Okay, but they can't able to get that back. Okay, so only the person who have this private private key, they are able to open that mailbox and get the mails or money, whatever the things put into that mailbox. This is a simple concept. This is how this public key and private key is working. This is same as our email box. Email ID is the public key. So anyone can send an email to ourselves, and they can drop the mail to our mailbox. But with our credential private key, we are able to see the mails, right? And we can able to send them email. And so I'll just give a simple example of this private and public key. So you can so many websites are there to create a public key. So whenever a public when you want to create a private key, there is always a pair of a public key create ஆயிட்டு தான் இருக்கும். So அதை யூஸ் பண்ணி will do encryption decryption. So this simple example. So simple எப்படி பண்ணுவாங்க அப்படின்னா, so first they will send a public key to the receiver actually. So what the sender will do the encryption using the public key and send the message to the receiver. So receiver will do the decryption using their private key. That is how this PKI concept will work. So public key once first sender இருக்கும், sender அனுப்பிப்பாங்க, sender will do the validation everything, and he will send the message by encrypting this using the public key, and the receiver will decrypt using their private key. Okay, how this if suppose the hacker or someone in intermediate just bluffing as a sender or receiver, so in both sides they can able to bluff, right? So this how the sender or receiver able to identify this as a public key actually sent by the original receiver. So that was ensured by the concept called digital signature. So hope you know this concept, digital signature, something like a public key pair function. So when an electronic message is sending, the message is signed with the private key actually. So when message is received, the receiver has your public key, verifies the signature and will just get it. So நமக்கு வந்து அந்த when for example Gmail எடுத்துட்டோம்னா all the Gmail IDs will know the public key contact ID. So they know they will actually all the email ID will be digitally signature for the sender. So if someone send any message email with their bluffing private public key, the receiver actually knows that this was from a hacker, everything. This is how our digital signature is working. Fine. This cryptography digital signature, keep that as a mind, PKE digital signature. So next we see some few terms, okay, few terms that involve in this blockchain. That is nonce. Now what is nonce? Nonce actually it's a number that is used only once. இந்த நம்பர் வந்து only once யூஸ் பண்ண முடியும், வேற ஸ்பெசிஃபிக் பர்பஸ் யூஸ் பண்ண மாட்டாங்க. அதுதான் வந்து nonce. So இந்த இது இட்ஸ் கைண்ட் ஆஃப் good in a database we have the unique identifier, right? Digital good. That's one kind of nonce. Okay, so it is used for reducing the duplication, since we have huge number of records in over the network. So duplication, avoiding duplication, we go for this nonce or unique identifier. So next, hashing. So hashing, I think everyone know about what is hashing, everything. Some hash function is a mathematical process of taking data of any size and performs operation on it and returns a hash. அதாவது ஹேஷிங் சிம்பிளா சொல்ல போனா, like it will take the input and do the hashing function and gives a fixed size output. That's the hash, right? So something we are changing a normal string into a signature, digital signature is called hashing. So it's a simple thing, and of course it's the only way we can able to hash the value, do the hashing once unidirectional. So we can't get the return back the value by the hashed value to the we are unable to get the original value from the hashed value actually. That's the only one way. So this is simple example. So whatever the data is a banana, apple, it's a hello world, it's a hi god, fancy engineering or CS department, whatever the message, the output will be the same one. So this is a hashing thing. The output will not be known for everyone. They are unable to decrypt into the original message. This was the concept behind the hashing. So we saw PKI, digital signature, nonce, hashing.
Hello.
Hashing. Okay, and another concept called mining. So what is mining? By default, what is mining? Something something we do get some resource from the underground, right? So that involves a lot of power, manpower, cost, everything to acquire some gold or something materials. That is a process called mining. So what involves in the in this blockchain sense, the process involving to create a new block. அந்த பிளாக் கிரியேட் பண்றதுக்கான ப்ராசஸ் இருக்குல்ல, அதுதான் இங்க மைனிங் அப்படின்னு சொல்றோம். ஸோ அந்த ப்ராசஸ் வந்து இட்ஸ் நீட்ஸ் டு பி டிஃபிகல்ட் ப்ராசஸ். சே ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள், ஐ வாஸ் ஏபிள் டு மைன் அ கோல்டு ஃப்ரம் மை அண்டர் கிரவுண்ட் இன் மை ஹோம். நம்ம லேண்ட்லேயே வாஸ் ஏபிள் டு மைன் அ கோல்டு அப்படின்னா கோல்டு ப்ரைஸ் வந்து இந்த அளவுக்கு இருக்குமா? சான்ஸ் இல்லை. The reason why the prices are high, values depends upon the process involved, difficult, how much difficult to retrieve a single gram of gold or something. So adhe mari, so adding a simple block into the network should be a kind of a mining thing, should be a big one. Then only that will be a complex one that will not be able to hack it. Okay, this is a simple example I'll give. So I use SHA function. This is our own website we use for SHA, creating SHA SHA output. So I just created this Francis Xavier Engineering College. Okay, so I just share this one. So this is the process. This is, say for example, this is our transaction. So you were able to see my browser, right? Okay. So say for example, this is the actual thing. So I am just doing the hashing using SHA-256 algorithm. So this is the hash output. Okay. So this won't change actually, since unless the string is changed, this hash value will not change, whatever the thing. So we want to create some unique transaction ID. So how they will achieve in the sense. So the blockchain எப்படி work சொல்றேன். So ஒரு block add ஆகிறதுக்கு they have to go for a successful winning hashing algorithm. ஒரு the transaction will give the some constraint. எனக்கு வந்து hash output வந்து should start with some kind of like 40 start ஆகணும் or 0101 start ஆகணும். இதுதான் வந்து constraint. இந்த constraint வந்து எந்த சிஸ்டம் வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அச்சீவ் பண்றோமோ அந்த ஹேஷ் தான் வந்து வின்னிங் ஹேஷ். அந்த வின்னிங் ஹேஷ் அச்சீவ் பண்ண உடனே ஒரு பிளாக் ஆட் ஆயிடும். எக்ஸாம்பிளுக்கு சே ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் இந்த மெசேஜுக்கு என்னோட வின்னிங் ஹேஷ் வந்து ஸ்டார்ட்ஸ் வித் 00 வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். இதுக்கு நான் ஹேஷ் கொடுத்துட்டேன். ஸோ இப்போ இது டோன்ட் சேஞ்ச், என்ன எத்தனை டைம் ஹேஷ் பண்ணாலுமே. ஸோ அது கூட வந்து வில் ஆட் நான்ஸ்ங்கிறது அனதர் யூனிக் ஐடென்டிஃபையர், ரைட்? ஸோ நான் ஜஸ்ட் ஒரு ஆடிங் சம் நான்ஸ் ஆட் பண்றேன். அகைன் ஐ எம் டூயிங் ஹேஷிங். ஸோ நவ் வேல்யூ இஸ் கெட்டிங் சேஞ்சஸ், ரைட்? ஸோ இப்படி வந்து so we have to add multiple hashes. ஓகே, இப்படி ஒவ்வொரு டைமும் ஒவ்வொரு ஹேஷ் அந்த நான்ஸ்ங்கிறது வந்து ரிப்பீட் ஆகக்கூடாது, அதுவுமே வந்து யூனிக் ஐடென்டிஃபையர் இருக்கணும். ஸோ வாட் தே வில் டூ இன் த சென்ஸ், அந்த மைனிங் கம்ப்யூட்டர் மைனர்ஸ் என்ன பண்ணுவாங்கன்னா, ஒன்ஸ் ஒரு டிரான்சாக்ஷன் எக்ஸாம்பிள் வந்து A to B வந்து ஒரு டிரான்சாக்ஷன் நடக்கும் அப்படின்னா, ஒரு பிளாக் ஆட் ஆகணும் அப்படின்னா, ஸோ வாட் தே வில் டூ த சென்ஸ், தே வில் செட் த கன்ஸ்ட்ரெயின். அந்த மைனர்ஸ் வந்து வில் டூ த வின்னிங் ஹேஷ். ஸோ தே வில் ப்ராசஸ். இதுக்கு we need a huge processing power from the machines. ஸோ டு ரிசல்ட் இதுக்கு வந்து சிம்பிளா ஒரு லாஜிக் போட்டு நம்ம வந்து ஹேஷ் செக் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கலாம். லைக் வந்து நம்ம ஒவ்வொரு ஐடென்டிஃபையரா போட்டு யூ ஹேவ் டு செக் எந்த ஐடென்டிஃபையர் வந்து சாட்டிஸ்ஃபை வித் 0 ஃபர்ஸ்ட் 40 வர மாதிரி எந்த ஹேஷ் அவுட்புட் வருதோ அதுதான் வின்னிங் ஹேஷ். ஸோ மெனி பீப்புள் இந்த நெட்வொர்க் மைனர்ஸ் வந்து ட்ரை பண்ணிட்டே இருப்பாங்க. யார் வந்து அந்த ரிசல்ட் கொண்டு வராங்க குயிக்கா, எவ்வளவு குயிக்கா கொண்டு வராங்களோ அந்த யூனிக் ஹேஷை தான் they will set as a block address. அந்த block address செட் பண்ணி they will add new block. So அந்த block add ஆனோன்னா the transaction from A to B will be completed and the person who mined actually the rewarded with the Bitcoin. So அந்த மிஷினுக்கு அந்த மைனருக்கு they will give the Bitcoin as a reward. So this is how actually the blockchain works. Fine. So the computer is going to solve this mathematical problem by applying its process capability. So இதுதான் நான் சொன்னேன், இந்த மிஷின்ஸ் எல்லாமே வந்து மைனர்ஸ் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். ஸோ அதுக்கப்புறம் இந்த கான்செப்ட் இருக்குல்ல, ஸோ அந்த வின்னிங் ஹேஷ் எடுத்து வரதுக்கான பேர் வந்து ப்ரூஃப் ஆஃப் ஒர்க்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஸோ இந்த ஆக்ட் ஆஃப் மைனிங் சக்சஸ்ஃபுல்லி கிரியேட்டிங் வின்னிங் ஹேஷ், எந்த கம்ப்யூட்டர் வந்து ஏபிள் டு கிரியேட் அ சக்சஸ்ஃபுல் வின்னிங் ஹேஷ் தட் சாட்டிஸ்ஃபை த கன்ஸ்ட்ரெயின், இந்த நான்ஸ் ஹேஷிங் டிஜிட்டல் சிக்னேச்சர் இதெல்லாம் யூஸ் பண்ணி அந்த ஹேஷை எந்த கம்ப்யூட்டர் கிரியேட் பண்ணுதோ அந்த கம்ப்யூட்டர் தான் will be rewarded with Bitcoin, and that process is called proof of work. So everything in the blockchain, if you want to add a new block, the proof of work has to done. Okay, this is how the block will be mined. Every miners will mine the blocks into the network. It's a simple thing how blockchain works. So I explain how the blockchain works. It will be completed shortly. Okay. So this is a new blockchain. This is Genesis block 1 and block 0 and block 1. So these two people are involved in the blockchain network. Okay, so they will have this copy of the actual database. So this A wants to transfer Bitcoin to the B. Okay, so for this all this process like they have set winning signature constraint. Once the constraint was set, miners will start mining. once the proof of work submitted, the new block will get added to the blockchain, and the reward will be given to the miner, and finally the transaction will actually happen to the session, successfully, which means the one Bitcoin was reduced from the actually there is a two blocks will be added. One block for reducing one Bitcoin from A's account, and one block for increasing one Bitcoin from B account. Okay. Say for example, another one new one signed into the network. புதுசா ஒரு அக்கௌண்ட் சைன் பண்றாரு, immediately they will get all the entire block of details. So next எதாவது டிரான்சாக்ஷன் நடந்தனா they will get the replication of data. So this is the address. இதுதான் அட்ரஸ் இருக்கும் ஒவ்வொருக்கும். இந்த அட்ரஸ் இஸ் அ பிளாக் செயின் ஆக்சுவலி வேலட் ஆர் சிஸ்டம். உங்களோட மொபைலா இருக்கலாம், சிஸ்டமா இருக்கலாம். அந்த அதுல தான் they will have this private key. அந்த private key யூஸ் பண்ணி தான் we will actually assure the transactions. Everyone involved in the blockchain network will ensure the transactions. Okay, fine guys. Actually so covering entirely blockchain is a big thing in 1 hour, so I'll just I hope I cover almost whatever thing I was able to do that. So what is the next for the students? Actually I was just to give the brief. So just if you are interested, if the blockchain bitcoins are interested for you, you can just go through some more information about the blockchain bitcoins, and definitely these concepts only they will discuss. So once you see the some information about the blockchain nonsense, hashing, how proof of work is working, even we have this proof of stake concepts. So so once you go through that concept, it might be even more easier for you. And for the students, I would suggest to read more about Ethereum smart contracts. Actually, smart contracts is nothing but instead of amount, they will have a executable programs in every block. So once the proof of work is done, some program or some programming logic will work. So that is how the Ethereum. This is Ethereum actually, guys. Actually, the more emerging one. I could say the third year students or some they want to do some research projects. They could definitely go for this Ethereum smart contracts. And the Solidity, actually this is the language for Ethereum to develop the blockchain. Okay, and even you can be a miner pananuna, we need a big machine. So we can do some minimal level of or college network, like even minimal level of blockchain create பண்ணிட்டு we can do a minimal level of small constraints. We can do a minimal blockchain open source இது பண்ணலாம். Okay, so அந்த blockchain source blockchain Ethereum all the source are open source platform இருக்குது. If you want, you can explore that. And of course if you need some cryptocurrency, you can buy definitely Bitcoin we can able to buy, and lot more currencies actually, even less than $0. So many currencies are available. For trial we can go for a cryptocurrency. So guys, actually that's all I have with the blockchain and Bitcoin. So I guess I just give some introduction. It's a kind of introduction to the blockchain and Bitcoin. So after this you could be able to say like what is blockchain. Instead of saying it's a blockchain, it's a technology behind the Bitcoin. So I guess I have done my part well. So thank you all for this thing. If you have any queries, you can comment there. Thank you.
Rajpal, I think you have done your part very well, and there is one question they have texted on the chat box.
One second, sir. I'll just.
Nouns is
Yes.
nouns a unique value they have asked.
I said nouns no unique value. Yes, of course. It's a unique value. The value that will not change actually. The value will be used only once. That's similar to our good in the database, unique identifier. So the reason why they go for hashing and nouns together now actually in the we have multiple now the data வந்து ரொம்ப அதிகமா இருக்குது. So that is definitely there is some million ones வந்து நமக்கு வந்து அந்த யூனிக் ஐடென்டிஃபையரே replicate பண்றதுக்கு சான்ஸ் இருக்கு. So they done a hashing வித் 256 ஷார்ட் 256, அது 256 பிட்ஸ். அது கூட இந்த யூனிக் ஐடென்டிஃபையர் சேர்த்து பண்ணும்போது அந்த ரெப்ளிகேஷன் வந்து இட்ஸ் ஹேப்பனிங், ரெப்ளிகேஷன் வரதுக்கு வந்து இட்ஸ் வெரி லோ சான்ஸ். they are saying this astronomical numbers தான் வந்து astronomical numbers இருக்கும். the nonce இந்த கான்செப்ட் இன்க்ளூட் ரீசனே வந்து to get a unique identifier that is not repeated for long period of time. That is the reason for the nonce concept. So the nonce is important for achieving the winning hash algorithm. So we have the hash, and after adding the hash or nonce வந்து நமக்கு வந்து தெரியாது, நமக்கு வந்து only constraint தான் தெரியும். அந்த constraint அச்சீவ் பண்றதுக்கு we try with 1 by 1. say for example நான் வந்து first 1 போட்டு ட்ரை பண்றேன், அது 2 போடுறேன், 3 போடுறேன். ஸோ அப்படியே ஒவ்வொரு நம்பர் ட்ரை பண்ணி எந்த நம்பருக்கு வந்து அந்த வின்னிங் ஹேஷ் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் 0-0 வர மாதிரி ஒரு ஹேஷ் ஜென்ரேட் ஆகுதோ அதான் வின்னிங் ஹேஷ். அது அந்த நான்ஸ் என்ன, அந்த நான்ஸ் கண்டுபிடிக்கிற ப்ராசஸ் தான் அந்த சிஸ்டம்ஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கும். அதுதான் மைனிங் கான்செப்ட். அதை மைனர்ஸ்ங்கிற அந்த சிஸ்டம்ஸ் தான் பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பாங்க. Hope that clears about the nonce. So any other questions na just ping the message.
And there is one more question, Rajkumar.
Miners reward எப்படி கிடைக்கும்? Okay. Rewards actually, as I said in the earlier one, I'll go back one. You are able to see the screen, right? Okay. So இந்த ஜெனிஸ் இது வந்து எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஆஃப் அ பிளாக், ஒரு பிளாக்கோட எக்ஸாம்பிள் இருக்கு. ஸோ இதுல தான் வந்து இந்த ஹேஷ் இருக்குல்ல, இதுதான் வி ஜென்ரேட். அந்த மைனர் வில் கெட் ஜென்ரேட் டு ஆட் அ நியூ பிளாக். அந்த ஒரு பிளாக்ங்கிறது என்ன, ஒரு அட்ரஸ் தானே, ஒரு இன்ஃபர்மேஷன். ஸோ ஒரு டிஜிட்டல் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் ஆட் ஆகுது. இந்த பிளாக் வந்து ரிப்பீட் ஆகாது. ஸோ இந்த பிளாக்னா நமக்கு வந்து பிசிக்கலா பிளாக் இருக்க போகுது. இந்த ஹேஷ் தான் இட்ஸ் அ பிளாக். அது கூட இந்த டேர்ம் இருக்குல்ல லாஸ்ட்ல, இதுதான் வந்து காயின் பேஸ்ன்னு சொன்னேன். இந்த காயின் பேஸ்ங்கிறது என்னன்னா, ஒன் ஹூ மைண்ட், யாரு வந்து அந்த ஹேஷ் வின்னிங் ஹேஷ் ஜென்ரேட் பண்ண எந்த மிஷின் வந்து ஜென்ரேட் பண்ணுதோ அந்த மிஷினை வந்து அவங்க ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்றதுக்கு தே வில் ஆட் சம் மெசேஜ், ஒரு டிரான்சாக்ஷன் மெசேஜோ அவங்களை ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்றதுக்கு, அந்த டிரான்சாக்ஷன் ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்றதுக்கு ஒரு மெசேஜ் கொடுத்துருவாங்க. அதுல தே வில் ஹேவ் ஆல்சோ தேர் அட்ரஸ், வேலட் அட்ரஸ். ஸோ அந்த அட்ரஸ் பொறுத்து தே வில் ரிவார்ட், அந்த மிஷின் ரிவார்ட் ஆகும். ரிவார்டிங் கான்செப்ட்ங்கிறது வந்து எப்படின்னா, இப்போ இனிஷியலி வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சட்டோஷி வந்து சொன்னால ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பிளாக் மைண்ட் பண்ணும்போது he was rewarded with 50 bitcoins actually. ஸோ அவங்க எப்படி சட்டோஷி வாஸ் இந்த கான்செப்ட் ஃப்ரேம் பண்ணிக்காரு அப்படின்னா, எவ்ரி 4 years the rewarding points will be halved, அதாவது ஹாஃப் ஆயிரும். இப்போ வந்து 2009ல they startedனா 4 years அப்புறம் வந்து it will be like 25 bitcoins for mining. அதுக்கப்புறம் 4 yearsக்கு அப்புறம் வந்து it will be 12.5 bitcoins, then it will become 6.25. ஸோ இப்படி வந்து இப்போ நமக்கு வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா இப்போ எத்தனை சம்திங் லைக் அந்த அதோட வந்து ஹாஃபிங் வேல்யூ வந்து கம்மியாயிட்டே வரும். ஸோ தே ஆர் சேயிங் லைக் இப்படி நம்ம ஹாஃப் வேல்யூ பண்ணிட்டே போகும்போது பை 2140 அந்த இயர் வரும்போது இட் வில் பி 0 அப்படின்ற மாதிரி சொல்றாங்க. லைக் அண்ட் ஆல்சோ திஸ் நம்பர் ஆஃப் பிட்காயின்ஸ் இந்த நெட்வொர்க், அந்த பிட்காயின் நெட்வொர்க்கும் வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஐ திங்க் அரௌண்ட் 21 மில்லியன் பிட்காயின்ஸ் தான் வந்து அவங்க வந்து இப்போதைக்கு பண்ணிருக்காங்க. எதுக்குன்னா, ஸோ நம்ம எப்பவுமே பிட்காயின் ஜெனரேட் பண்ணிட்டே போகணும்னா அதுக்கு வேல்யூ கம்மியாயிரும். ஸோ அவங்க எப்பவுமே ஸ்கேர்சிட்டி, ரிசோர்ஸ்ங்கிறது ஸ்கேர்சிட்டி இருந்தால் தான் அதோட வேல்யூ இருக்கும். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி தான் இந்த பிட்காயின் பிளாக் செயின் வந்து ஃப்ரேம் பண்ணிக்காங்க. ஸோ ரிவார்டிங் சிஸ்டம் இஸ் சிம்பிள். ஸோ ஒன் ஹூ அச்சீவ் த மைனிங் வின்னிங் ஹேஷ் அச்சீவ் பண்ற மிஷினுக்கு அந்த பர்சனுக்கு தே வில் ரிவார்ட் த பிட்காயின்ஸ். எப்படி அவ ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணுவாங்கன்னா, யூசிங் திஸ் காயின் பேஸ். இந்த காயின் பேஸோட மெசேஜ் அவங்களோட அட்ரஸ் வச்சு அவ ரிவார்ட் பண்ணிடுவாங்க ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்லி. ஸோ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஏ டு பிக்கு வந்து 1 பிட்காயின் அனுப்புறாங்கன்னா இட்ஸ் 1.01 பிட்காயின் வந்து வரும். அந்த 0.1 பிட்காயின் ஆர் 0.25 பிட்காயின் இஸ் அ டிரான்சாக்ஷன் ஃபீஸ். தட் டிரான்சாக்ஷன் ஃபீஸ் வில் பி த ரிவார்ட் பாயிண்ட் given to the miner.
Sir, online certificate verification is using blockchain technology, is it right?
Sorry, online
certificate verification. We do use the technology used in blockchain. Whether it is right?
Yes, yes, of course we can use online certificate verification. Even this Bitcoin and the coin financial இது எல்லாமே வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா இட்ஸ் a ஸ்டார்டிங் ப்ராசஸ். இப்போ இன்டர்நெட் எப்போ எதுக்கு ஆரம்பிச்சோம்னா இட்ஸ் ப்ராசஸ் ஆஃப் கம்யூனிகேட்டிங். ஒரு மிஷின்ல இன்னும் ஜஸ்ட் எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச் ஆஃப் பேக்கெட்ஸ் தானே. ஸோ ஒரு மிலிட்டரியில இருந்து இன்னொரு செக்யூரிட்டா அனுப்பணும், சம்திங் டேட்டா வந்து ஒயர்லெஸ் இல்லாம அனுப்பணும் அப்படின்னு தான் ஆரம்பிச்சாங்க. பட் the way it was grown, the application it applies வந்து நிறைய இருக்கு. அதே மாதிரி இப்போ இந்த பிளாக் செயின் வந்து ப்ரொபோஸ் டு வந்து ஃபார் ஃபினான்ஷியல் டிரான்சாக்ஷன். பட் it was mainly used for this identity verification. நீங்க கேட்ட கொஸ்டின் வந்து இஸ் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் ஒன். திஸ் சே ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் வந்து அந்த சர்டிபிகேஷன் வந்து இவங்களுக்குன்னு அச்சீவ் பண்றோம். நம்ம வந்து இவங்க தான் ஒன் ஹூ அச்சீவ் தட் சர்டிபிகேட், சர்டிஃபைட் தட் ஹி இஸ் சம்திங் லைக் ஓனர் ஆஃப் த land, or he won this record, he won this Guinness record அப்படின்ற மாதிரி something certify பண்ணிட்டோம்னா that won't be tampered to anyone. So if anything we need to be changed in the sense, because it was transparent, it was available in the network, it will be copied everyone in the network. So அதனால இந்த ஐடென்டிட்டி இந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்களுக்கு வந்து பிளாக் செயின் இஸ் மச் யூஸ்ட். ஈவன் ஈத்தீரியம் நிறைய கான்செப்ட்ஸ் வந்து அந்த மாதிரி பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. So this kind of the place actually people has to look for, not only in terms of money, financial. The blockchain concept also, lot many applications are happening. So for the last 5 years, so many Bitcoin blockchain kind of networks have evolved. So many cryptocurrencies have evolved by forking the Bitcoins actually.
Rajman, there is one more question. Is digital signature safe or not? There is in chat box you can see another question.
Yes. Of course, it's safe only. See, the how digital signature is not actually given by any other entity. It is not actually given by the Gmail, I could say. That's what I think is a kind of a logic. We create some unique hashing thing or any encrypted hash value for signing your address. So it's a safe only actually. But of course, if again the centralized authority so is able to do compromise, they can able to tamper the digital signature. That is why in blockchain they are not only using digital signature, they are also using this kind of complex algorithm to build the hash. So even the authority who know the digital signature something original hash value, they are unable to tamper, because the resulting value will be generated, winning hash will be generated by someone else in the network.
Yeah, any other questions you have, you can please text. Any other questions you have? Any other questions you have, you can please text.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there is one more question.
Yeah. Is the one block contains one transaction or no? Only one transaction. Yeah. Sorry. So I said like if someone wants to transfer some in our example, A is sending some 1 Bitcoin into B, right? So which means like there is the 2 transactions. One is to increase 1 Bitcoin, that Bitcoin amount from A ledger, and some another transaction you need to increase one or some Bitcoin amount in the B ledger. So there is a two block will be created.
Rajman, I think there is one more question.
Yes, I've seen hash. Yeah.
I think there is some technical problem. I think resource person is not able to join. So we will have the vote of thanks. I request Dr. C. Gopalakrishnan sir to propose the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, all of you. I am Dr. C. Gopalakrishnan, Professor CSE Department. On behalf of CSE Department, I thank Engineer Rajkumar, Module Lead, Software Development, Miramat Ajuba Solutions Private Limited, Chennai, for presenting the topic on blockchain and bitcoins. Hope the session was very useful and informative. I extend my sincere thanks to HOD, Principal, Director Alumni, General Manager and Management of Francis Xavier Engineering College for their valuable guidance and support. Participants can fill the feedback form which is posted in chat box. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Once again, Rajkumar.
Thank you, sir. Sir, is it audible now?
Yeah. Thank you so much for the wonderful session, Rajkumar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So, you can please share your mobile number and email ID to our students, and if they're interested, they can reach you, and they can, if there is any more doubt, they will contact you.
Sure. So, is there my screen is available for you? 1 second, sir. So, is that screen is visible now?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's visible. It's visible. Rajkumar.
okay, sir. Okay, fine. So, thank you all. So if you have any other queries are related with the blockchain, bitcoins, if you want to explore much thing, and if you while we're explaining, if you have any doubts regarding that, you can definitely send an email. This is my email ID, theraj.leojana@gmail.com, and you can connect me with LinkedIn. Leojana is my profile ID, and my mobile number. So this is my mobile number. You can reach me if you have any queries or if you need to work more further with the blockchain or any other technical topics. Thank you all once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Rajkumar, once again, on behalf of Computer Science and Engineering Department and also on behalf of Alumni Association, we are so grateful to you for coming and sharing your wonderful session. It was an awesome session. It was a deep dive into the technology, and you explained so well. It was a very thrilling session. And more than everything, we wish to say that we are so proud of you, and also about your growth, and also about your technical knowledge. And once again, wish you all the very best in your life. And thank you so much, and God bless.
Thank you, sir. Thanks so much, and thank you all. Stay safe. Good luck.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Brinda ma'am. Thank you, Gopal sir. Thank you, all the participants.